Hi guys, it's Abby and welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a little while, but some things have changed. So I had a baby and now she's almost a month old. I have been reading, but I haven't been doing a ton of reading, and I'm trying to get back into the swing of things now that we have settled down and we have gotten home and done everything like that. So today's video is going to be a recent reads video. So far in 2020 I have read 5 books. My little girl was born on February 12th, so I read 5 books in the month of January before she came, and currently am working on a couple of books that I'm reading while she's taking naps or asleep and things like that. So without further ado, we're just going to talk about the books that I have read so far in 2020. The first book that I read in 2020 was Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. I have been making my way through the Throne of Glass series. I don't know exactly how many books there are in this series. I haven't really done a lot of research in it, but this is the second book in the series, and I gave this book 4 stars. I'm pretty behind on this trend because I know everybody read these books ages ago, and I was not on that trend. I wasn't really into young adult fantasy at the time, and so I didn't really enjoy reading things like this, so I never picked it up. But now I really love young adult and adult fantasy, so I decided that I would hop on the trend and finally read this series, and this was the second book in the series. I did really enjoy it. I mean, it wasn't obviously a 5-star read for me. 5-star reads for me are like books that I absolutely love, will go down as my favorite books, but this was just a good book. It wasn't like an amazing book. So that's why I gave this 4 stars. I will continue on with the series. I haven't read any more of the books in the series yet, but I do plan on it. The next 3 books that I read in 2020 were the Red Queen series. I had read the Red Queen a long time ago, and so I decided that before my little girl came that I would try to finish up as many series as I could, and so I picked this series, and I did a combination of reading it physically and listening to them on audio, and I really enjoyed the audiobooks for these. I did read some physically, but for the most part I read them all on audio, and I really enjoyed that. So the second book in this series is Glass Sword, and these books are by Victoria Aveyard or Aveyard. I'm not really sure how you're supposed to pronounce her last name, but I did read these. I enjoyed this series as a whole. I do think it was a little bit drawn out. I think that it definitely could have been done in 3 books and maybe not as massive of books. I don't know. I've had this series on my shelf for a really long time, and I just wanted to finish them and be done with it, and I did enjoy them. I gave Glass Sword 4 stars, and then I gave King's Cage 3 stars, and the last book I have on my Kindle, which is War Storm, and I also gave War Storm 3 stars as well. Like I said, the series is really good. It follows a girl who has red blood in a kingdom full of silver-blooded people who have like special abilities, and a bunch of things happen and they start sort of a civil war, and you just see how all of that plays out, and it's really interesting. The story and the plot were very good. I just feel like it would have been something that I would have given a 5-star in high school back whenever it came out, but now reading it just seems like a lot of things that I've already read, but I don't think I would feel that way if I had read it when it came out. I just was a little behind the times on actually reading it. I did enjoy the characters. I thought the plot was very interesting, and it did keep me wanting to read and see what happens next, but I just think it was a little too young for me. I feel like this was definitely 16-year-old Abby, but not 22-year-old Abby, but I did enjoy the series as a whole, and I do think it is a good series. And the last book that I read in 2020 was A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. I've had this series on my shelf for like a year now. I bought the box set, and I really have been wanting to read this series. I have heard so many good things about this series. I just never ever picked it up, and I don't know why. I do that with a lot of books. I have that problem where I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, I want to read this and I want to know what happens, but then I just never actually pick up the book even though I bought them. So, I gave A Darker Shade of Magic 4 stars. I thought it was really, really good. I enjoyed the writing. I really enjoyed the plot. I really liked Kale as a character, and I love Delilah, and I'm really excited to see where this series goes. I plan on finishing this series very soon if I can. Obviously, it's a little bit harder to read whenever you have a 3-week-old infant, but it is definitely top priority on my reading list. So I know this is going to be a very short video because obviously I have not read that many books and I'm just kind of getting back into filming, and I read these books, you know, back in January, and it's March now. So I don't quite really have a good memory of what these books were about, especially the Red Queen series. I literally binged this whole series other than the first book, and so I don't quite remember what happens in each book individually. I do know the general story of it, but I did binge it all in like a week, and so I did not remember what happened in each individual book, but I did enjoy the series. So I know this is kind of a short, boring-ish video, but it's getting me back into filming, and so I do hope y'all enjoyed seeing what I have read recently and the series that I finished and the series that I've started. And I am going to try to film more videos and read more, but we will just see how all of that goes. Thank y'all so much for watching, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Thank y'all so much. Bye!